we're now seeing a lull in the fighting, according to the Syrian activists and some of the aid workers on the ground. And that may have been a result of Turkish diplomatic engagements with Moscow and with Turkey. We saw just a few days ago the president of Turkey calling for the whole world, the international community, to prevent and stop Bashar al-Assad from launching what could have been a devastating ground assault to recapture Idlib, the last rebel-held province. Now, on one hand, the Russians are saying that their objectives here of their forces and of the Assad regime militias that Moscow backs is counter-terrorism, to fight a designated terror group, HTS, which is recognized as a terror group by Turkey, by the United States and the European Union and other countries. On the other hand, many Syrians on the ground, to include aid workers, are saying, look, you can defeat terrorism in Syria. There's a few thousand foreign fighters and HTS designated terrorists there, but you can do that without Bashar al-Assad destroying the country and recapturing this very strategic province. We're looking at 3 million people in that area, to include thousands of whom have already been displaced and been forced from their homes from other parts of Syria. So now a big debate on how do you most effectively achieve these counter-terrorism objectives without thousands of people losing their lives needlessly.
Right, because in the meantime, I mean, where do civilians who fear for their lives, regardless of whether or not this offensive goes forward militarily, because they fear Bashar al-Assad, and ultimately most analysts say he will eventually retake Idlib province. So just over the prospect of Idlib falling into the hands of the regime, where do they go? Are areas that have been liberated by Turkey safe for them now?
Well, there's very heavy resistance in Idlib against Bashar al-Assad, and if Bashar al-Assad does launch an attack against Idlib, the rebel forces there are more than likely going to put up very stiff resistance. And of course, let's not forget, there are Turkish military observation posts throughout Idlib province, so that's going to be another complicated factor. So now the other question is, where do the families go? Where do the displaced families go? So thousands of whom have been forced from Damascus, from southern Syria, from the eastern Syrian desert. But if you go to northern Syria, refugee camps and displaced camps as far as the eye can see, from the Euphrates Shield areas in northern Aleppo province, where the Turkish military and the Free Syrian Army control and help govern, there's simply nowhere else to go. Turkey has over 3 million refugees. Many are even raising the scenario of over 1 million Syrians being forced from their homes in Idlib, many of whom could possibly even go into Europe. Potentially a repeat of the 2015 scenario of mass migration and everything that entailed. So the Turkey is trying to prevent that from happening, because you're looking at both a potential humanitarian concern and a humanitarian disaster, as well as a very much a national security concern for Turkey and security throughout the region and Europe as well. You have to solve Idlib, and right now diplomatic engagement may be at least stopping the fighting and preventing the slaughter, at least for now, for the time being.